Myra was an engineer on the research ship Aurora. The ship traveled far from Earth, mapping new star systems. Her days were long, full of machines, wires, and glowing screens. She loved fixing things, but she missed sunlight, trees, and the sound of rain. One morning, while brushing her hair in her small cabin, Myra noticed something strange. The reflection in the wall mirror looked delayed. She lifted her hand to touch her hair, but in the mirror, her hand rose a moment too late. She froze. "Maybe I'm tired," she whispered to herself. She tried again. This time, the reflection moved perfectly. She laughed softly, trying to shake off her fear. But deep down, something felt wrong. Later in the dining hall, she told Tomas, her closest friend on the ship. "I think my reflection is acting strange," Myra said quietly, stirring her drink. Tomas smiled. "You've been working too much. Get some rest." "I know what I saw," she replied firmly. Tomas leaned closer. "If it happens again, record it. Then I'll believe you." That night, Myra returned to her cabin. She looked in the mirror again, holding a small tool light to make sure nothing was wrong with the glass. The reflection looked normal. She sighed and turned to leave, but the reflection didn't turn with her. Her heart jumped. She spun back toward the mirror. Now it was moving normally again. She stepped closer, her breath fogging the surface. "Hello," she whispered, feeling silly. The reflection tilted its head, just a fraction different from hers. Myra's chest tightened. It was impossible, yet there it was, her own face, behaving like someone else. The ship's announcement interrupted her. "Engineering team, prepare for inspection in Section 3, the captain's voice echoed. Myra forced herself to leave. But as she walked out, she glanced one last time at the mirror. For a brief second, the reflection smiled when she didn't. The next day, Myra couldn't stop thinking about it. During her shift in the engine bay, she made small mistakes, something she rarely did. Farid, the ship's communications officer, noticed her distraction. "You okay, Myra? You look pale. Did you ever feel like you were being watched?" she asked. Farid laughed. "We're always being watched. Cameras everywhere." But Myra shook her head. "Not by cameras. By yourself." Farid frowned, clearly confused, but before he could reply, the captain called for a systems check. That evening, Myra decided to test the mirror. She stood in front of it for a long time, moving her arms in odd ways, blinking, smiling, frowning. The reflection copied her perfectly at first. But after several minutes, when her eyes grew tired, the reflection blinked twice on its own. Myra didn't blink. She felt a chill crawl up her spine. "What are you?" she whispered. This time, the reflection raised its hand slowly as if answering. Myra hesitated, then touched the mirror. The glass felt warm. The next day, she met Tomas again. "It happened again," Myra said in a low voice. "I touched the mirror. It felt alive." Tomas looked concerned now. "Myra, you need sleep." "I'm serious," she insisted. "Something is in there. Or someone." Tomas sighed. "Okay. Tonight, I'll come to your cabin. If it's real, we'll both see it." That night, Myra and Tomas sat in the small cabin, waiting. The mirror reflected their faces in the dim light. After 10 minutes, Tomas shook his head. "Nothing's happening." Myra stared harder. "Wait, there." The reflection of Tomas looked normal. But Myra's reflection, her own face, smiled slowly, even though she wasn't smiling. Tomas jumped back. "What?" Then the reflection raised its hand, palm open. Myra hesitated, then slowly raised her own. The reflection pressed its palm to hers through the glass. The surface glowed faintly, as if a soft light pulsed behind it. "Myra, Tomas whispered, "That's not a mirror." Myra's eyes widened. She felt a strange warmth again, stronger this time. And just before the glow faded, her reflection mouthed silent words, "Help me." The light vanished. The reflection returned to normal, copying every move again. Tomas stared at her. "We need to tell someone." "No," Myra said firmly. "Not yet. They'll think we're crazy." But deep inside, Myra knew this was no dream. The mirror wasn't broken. Something or someone was reaching out from the other side. Myra could not sleep that night. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw her reflection's lips moving, "Help me." By morning, she had made up her mind. She needed to understand what the mirror really was. During her shift, she worked with steady hands, but her thoughts raced. The ship's captain, Rafik, walked past her station. "Myra, you seem quiet today," he said. "I'm just tired," she replied quickly. Tomas met her during lunch. "Still thinking about last night?" "Of course," she whispered. "It wasn't my imagination." "You saw it too?" Tomas nodded slowly. "So what do we do? Tell Farid? He's good with signals." That gave Myra an idea. If the reflection could mouth words, maybe it could send messages in another way too. That evening, while the crew slept, Myra returned to her cabin with Tomas. They dimmed the lights to make the glass surface clearer. Myra stood in front of the mirror. "If you can hear me," she whispered, "do something." At first nothing happened. Then a faint shimmer spread across the glass like ripples in water. "Do you see that?" Tomas whispered. "Yes," Myra said, her heart pounding. The reflection raised its hand and began to tap against the glass once, twice, 3 times. Then a pause. Then 2 more taps. "That's not random," Tomas said. "It's a pattern." Myra grabbed her handheld scanner from her tool bag. She aimed it at the mirror. The scanner showed faint energy pulses coming from the surface, tiny, but steady. "This isn't normal," she said. "It's giving off a signal." The next morning, Myra approached Farid in the communications room. "Can you help me check a strange signal?" she asked carefully. Farid looked curious. "From where?" "From a reflection," she said, choosing her words slowly. Farid raised an eyebrow but agreed. They took the portable receiver and set it in front of Myra's cabin mirror. When the reflection appeared, it shimmered faintly again. The receiver beeped softly. "There it is," Farid whispered. "Very weak, but it's real. The pattern repeats every 10 seconds." Farid recorded it, then spent hours decoding. By evening, his face looked pale. "This isn't just noise," he said. "It's a message. Someone's using light pulses to send code." "What does it say?" Tomas asked. Farid hesitated. "It says, 'Find the other self. Danger is near.'" Myra felt a chill run down her spine. "Other self?" Tomas repeated. "That's you, Myra. It's talking about your reflection." Farid shook his head in disbelief. "This isn't possible. Mirrors don't send messages." When Captain Rafik heard that Myra and Farid were spending time decoding strange signals, he called them to his office. "This ship is not a place for ghost stories," the captain said sharply. "We're on a research mission. No distractions." "But sir," Farid protested, "this is real. There's energy coming from her cabin mirror." "Then replace the mirror," Rafik said firmly. End of discussion. Myra exchanged a glance with Tomas. They knew the captain wouldn't believe them until something bigger happened. That night, Myra sat alone in her cabin. She touched the mirror again. "Who are you? What do you want from me?" The reflection mouthed the same words as before, "Help me." Then it changed, the face grew darker, and behind it, Myra saw strange shapes, like burning cities and falling stars. "No, what is that?" she whispered. The image cleared, showing Earth her home but covered in fire and smoke. Myra stepped back, heart racing. "This can't be real." The reflection raised its hand again, moving its lips slowly. "Not much time." The next morning, Myra told Tomas and Farid everything. "It's warning us," she said. "Something bad is coming." Farid frowned. "If this is true, maybe we can trace the energy source. Find out where it's coming from." Tomas nodded. "Let's do it in secret. The captain won't help us." Using the ship's scanners, Farid tracked the faint pulses from Myra's mirror. Surprisingly, they didn't come from any known device inside the ship. They were passing through the ship, as if from another dimension. Farid looked stunned. This signal isn't from our universe." "Then what is it?" Myra asked. "A kind of quantum echo," Farid guessed. "Something, or someone, reaching across realities." Tomas stared at Myra. "That's why it said other self. Maybe it's you, but in another world." Late that night, Myra returned to her cabin alone. She faced the mirror. "If you really are me," she whispered, "why are you warning me? What danger is coming?" The reflection pressed its palm to the glass again. Myra touched it. The warmth was stronger than before, almost like a heartbeat. Then, just as she was about to speak again, the lights in her cabin flickered and went out. The ship's emergency siren wailed briefly then stopped. When the lights came back on, the reflection in the mirror looked frightened. It mouthed one word Myra understood clearly this time: "Run." Myra hardly slept after seeing the reflection mouth the word "run." The warning echoed in her mind. But how could she run when she was trapped on a ship in deep space? The next morning, she met Tomas in the engine bay. "It spoke again," Myra whispered. "This time it told me to run." Tomas frowned. "Run? From what?" "I don't know. But it looks scared. I've never seen my own face look like that." Farid joined them later, holding a small data pad. "I studied the signal more," he said. "It's not just a warning. There's more code in it, but it's scrambled. We'll need better equipment to decode it." "The captain won't allow it," Tomas reminded him. "Then we work in secret," Farid said quietly. "We can use the spare lab in Section 6. Hardly anyone goes there." That night, the three of them gathered in the unused lab. The hum of the ship's engines filled the silence as they set up scanning tools. Myra brought her mirror from the cabin, claiming she needed it replaced because of a crack. The excuse worked. Farid linked the receiver to the ship's sensors. "If the signal repeats, we can map its full pattern." Tomas kept watch near the door. "If anyone comes, I'll warn you." Myra stood in front of the mirror again. "I know you can hear me," she whispered. "Please show us more." The reflection shimmered faintly. Then pulses of light ran across the glass fast, then slow, like a heartbeat. Farid recorded everything. "This is incredible," he muttered. "The signal isn't random at all. It's structured, like language." As they worked, the reflection's lips moved again. "Not much time." "What does that mean?" Tomas asked softly. "It means we better hurry," Myra replied. By midnight, Farid decoded part of the message. It says, "Shattered worlds. Enemy coming. Find the other self." "Enemy?" Tomas repeated. "What enemy?" Farid shook his head. "No idea. But if this is real, something dangerous is approaching human space." Just then, the lab door slid open. Captain Rafik stood there, arms crossed. "What are you three doing here?" His voice was cold. Myra tried to speak calmly. "We're running a private experiment. Nothing dangerous." The captain stepped closer. "I told you to stop chasing this nonsense. We have orders to map this sector, not play with mirrors. Farid quickly shut off the equipment, but the captain had already seen the glowing reflection. His eyes narrowed. What is that? Before anyone could answer, the reflection suddenly cracked, not the real glass, but the image itself, like a broken picture. Myra gasped. No. The reflection's mouth formed new words. They found you. The captain stepped back, startled. What did it say? They found us, Myra whispered. Something's coming. The reflection shattered completely, its surface rippling like water before freezing again. The glow faded. After the captain left, clearly shaken, Myra, Tomas, and Farid stayed in the lab. This is worse than we thought, Farid said. The message isn't just a warning. It's urgent. Whatever is coming, it's close. We need more information, Tomas said. We need to understand what these mirrors really are. They ran a full scan of the mirror's material. This alloy isn't normal, Farid said. It's mixed with exotic particles I've never seen. This isn't standard ship equipment. Someone installed this on purpose. But why? Myra asked. Who would put alien material inside a mirror? They discovered that the mirror was acting like a dimensional window, reflecting not just light, but another version of reality. Myra, Tomas said slowly, your reflection isn't just you. It's another you. From another universe. Is that even possible? She asked. Farid nodded grimly. The readings say yes. The signal comes from a parallel dimension. That night, Myra returned to her cabin, exhausted but restless. The mirror looked normal again, as if nothing had happened. She touched it. This time, there was no warmth. She whispered, "Are you still there?" Slowly, the reflection appeared again, but it looked faint and broken, like static on an old screen. Her other self mouthed weakly, "Danger, ships, soon." "Who are they?" Myra whispered. "What do they want?" The reflection pressed its palm to the glass again, then slowly mouthed, "Not much time. Trust yourself." Before Myra could respond, the ship's alarm suddenly blared. "Warning! Unknown object detected near star path. All crew to stations." Tomas' voice came through the intercom. "Myra, it's not a drill. Something's out there." Myra looked at the mirror one last time. Her reflection mouthed one final word before fading completely, "Run." The sirens echoed through the corridors of the Aurora. Crew members rushed to their stations. Myra grabbed her toolkit and ran toward the control deck, her heart pounding. Captain Rafik stood at the main screen. "Report," he barked. Farid worked the console quickly. Unidentified craft detected at long range. No standard signal, no response to hails. "How large?" Rafik asked. "Too large for a probe, too small for a fleet," Farid replied. "It's moving fast directly toward us." Myra stared at the strange blip on the screen. "That's not a human ship." Tomas appeared beside her. "If your mirror self is right, this is what it warned about." The captain glanced at them sharply. "This is no time for stories about mirrors. We need facts." Myra swallowed hard. "Captain, the signal we found wasn't random. It said an enemy was coming. I think this is them." The ship went into defensive mode. Lights dimmed, shields powered up. The approaching craft slowed as it neared. Its shape appeared on the screen sharp, angular, unlike anything they had seen before. "Still no response?" Rafik asked. "Nothing," Farid said, shaking his head. Suddenly, a bright beam shot from the unknown craft, striking the Aurora's shields. The entire ship shuddered. "Direct hit!" Tomas shouted. "Shields holding for now," Farid added. The captain's face hardened. They fired first. Evasive maneuvers. As the crew worked frantically, Myra couldn't stop thinking about her reflection. They found you. The words haunted her. Farid, she whispered, can you track where that mirror signal is coming from? I can try, Farid said, his fingers flying over the console. But during combat, the systems will be locked to defense mode. Myra looked at Tomas. We have to understand what these ships want. If my other self is warning us, there must be a reason. Tomas nodded. Then we do it the hard way by sneaking into the lab while everyone's busy. The battle outside grew worse. The unknown craft fired again and again, testing the Aurora's defenses. The captain ordered all weapons armed, but their small research ship had little firepower. Meanwhile, Myra and Tomas slipped away from the control deck. They reached the unused lab where the mirror still stood connected to the receiver. Quickly, Myra said. Before someone notices we're gone. Farid joined them a few minutes later, carrying a portable scanner. I told the captain I needed to adjust the sensor array. He didn't ask questions. They powered up the receiver. The mirror shimmered faintly even as the ship shook under enemy fire. Can you hear me? Myra whispered to her reflection. Please tell us who they are. This time, the reflection was clear and strong. Her other self looked older, battle-worn, her face marked with soot and fear. She mouthed words slowly, war, invaders, stop them, only you. What does that mean? Tomas asked. Farid's scanner translated the light pulses. It's sending more data coordinates, instructions. It says humanity has something these attackers fear. Something inside us. Myra's eyes widened. Something inside us? Like what? Not sure yet, Farid said. But this message is coming fast like it knows we're in danger. Suddenly, the lab door burst open. Captain Rafik stood there again, furious. What are you three doing here? Captain, Myra said quickly, the reflection is giving us information. These attackers destroyed her world. They'll destroy ours if we don't act. Rafik hesitated. He was about to order them back to the control deck when the ship rocked violently from another blast. The captain grabbed the door frame. We can't take many more hits, he admitted. Then listen to me. Myra pleaded. We need to follow these coordinates. My other self says there's something there that can help us. Rafik studied her face for a long moment. If this is a trick, I'll have you confined. It's not a trick, Tomas said firmly. I saw it too. She's telling the truth. The captain looked at Farid. Can you verify this data? Farid nodded quickly. Yes. The signal's real. And it's coming from outside our universe. Nothing we have can fake that. Rafik clenched his jaw. Fine. Plot a course. But if this gets us killed, it's on you. Back on the control deck, the Aurora changed direction sharply, breaking away from the attacking ship. The unknown craft followed for a moment, then stopped almost as if it didn't expect the humans to flee that way. Coordinates locked, Farid said. We're heading to the outer edge of this sector. Good, Rafik replied. Let's see what's so important out there. As the crew settled into a tense silence, Myra stared at the mirror's last message. Her other self had looked at her with such urgency. What did she mean, only you? Tomas asked softly. Myra shook her head. I don't know. But whatever it is, I have to find out. The reflection's words burned in her memory. War. Invaders. Stop them. Only you. The Aurora sped through silent space, following the strange coordinates sent by Myra's reflection. Every crew member felt the tension. The unknown craft no longer followed, but it lingered behind them, like a predator waiting for its prey to slow down. Captain Rafik stood on the control deck, arms crossed. How long until we reach the target? Farid checked the navigation screen. Less than 6 hours if we maintain this speed. Good, Rafik said. Stay alert. I don't trust this quiet. Myra stayed close to Tomas. Her thoughts wouldn't stop racing. Why me? Why only me? 6 hours later, they arrived at the coordinates. To their surprise, there was no planet, no space station, just an empty, dusty moon circling a small dead world. This can't be right, Tomas muttered. No, Myra said softly. Look again. Farid scanned the surface. Wait, there's something here. I'm picking up faint energy readings, deep under the surface. Could be an old facility. The captain ordered a landing. The Aurora touched down on the barren moon, kicking up clouds of grey dust. The crew suited up and stepped outside. The surface was silent except for the sound of their boots crunching the dust. Then Myra saw it, a metallic hatch, half buried under rock. Over here, she called. Together they cleared the hatch. The lock was old but still powered. When Farid entered a few commands, the hatch slid open with a deep groan, revealing a tunnel leading underground. Inside, they found an ancient research station. The lights flickered weakly as emergency power hummed to life. The air was stale but breathable. This place looks human, Tomas whispered. But it's older than anything I've seen. Very old, Farid agreed. This technology doesn't match modern designs. It's like, humanity once had star travel long ago, then forgot. They moved deeper into the station and entered a large chamber filled with strange devices. Myra noticed symbols on the walls, symbols that almost matched the light patterns from her mirror. At the center of the room stood a tall machine shaped like a curved arch, glowing faintly. What is this? Rafik asked. Farid ran his scanner over the device. It's some kind of resonance generator. It reacts to human brainwaves. Brainwaves? Tomas said. So it needs a person to activate it. Yes, Farid said. But it's dangerous. If used wrong, it could burn out the brain. Myra stepped closer. This is what my reflection wanted me to find. Tomas grabbed her arm. Myra, wait. We don't even know what it does. I know, she said. But it was meant for us. Maybe it's what the enemy fears. Farid frowned. I'm reading strong energy output. It could enhance human abilities, thinking speed, reaction time. But the human body might not handle it. The captain looked uneasy. If we're going to test this, we need volunteers. I'll do it, Myra said quickly. No, Tomas said firmly. You don't have to be the first. Yes, I do, Myra replied. The message said only you. This is why. They powered up the machine. Blue light filled the chamber as the arch began to hum. Myra stepped inside. Are you sure about this? Farid asked, hands on the controls. Yes, Myra said, voice steady. Start it. The machine activated. Waves of light washed over Myra. At first, she felt warmth, then heat, then a sharp pain that made her knees buckle. Myra! Tomas shouted, rushing forward, but the captain held him back. Don't touch her, Rafik warned. It might disrupt the process. Myra gritted her teeth as images flashed in her mind: stars, battles, her reflection screaming, the enemy ships approaching Earth. Her heart raced as the machine pulsed faster and faster. Then everything went silent. Myra collapsed. Tomas ran to her side. Myra! Are you okay? Her eyes opened slowly. She sat up, breathing hard. I'm fine, she whispered. Fine? You were unconscious for 30 seconds, Farid said, checking her vitals. But your brain activity is off the charts. You're faster somehow. Myra looked around the room. She noticed every detail: cracks in the walls, faint symbols on the ceiling, as if her mind was sharper, clearer. This machine changes people, Myra said softly. It's what humanity once used to protect itself. We just forgot. Rafik looked grim. If it can help us fight, we'll use it. But carefully. We can't risk losing you. As they prepared to leave the station, Farid's wrist communicator beeped urgently. Captain, he said, eyes wide, the enemy ship is back. And it's calling reinforcements. We have less than a day before they reach Earth. Myra clenched her fists. Then we use this new power now. We'll turn the Aurora into a weapon with this resonance technology. Tomas looked at her nervously. You think we can do that in time? Myra met his eyes, her voice steady. We don't have a choice. Aaron walked through the silent hall of glass. The mirrors stretched endlessly, reflecting his tired face back at him. Each reflection seemed to watch him, like ghosts of his own doubts. Myra walked close behind, her hand brushing against the wall, ready for danger. The strange building hummed faintly, as if alive. We are close, Myra whispered. Her voice was steady, but her eyes betrayed unease. Aaron nodded. The crystal should be in the center. If we break it, the mirror's power ends. They reached a circular chamber where the walls were made of one giant mirror. In the middle stood a tall crystal, glowing faintly with silver light. But they were not alone. A figure stepped from the reflection. It was Aaron's copy again, but sharper, colder. His mirrored self smiled. You can't win, the reflection said. Break me, and you break yourself. Myra gripped her staff. We don't have time for games. The reflection laughed. This is no game. Every choice changes the mirror. Destroy the crystal, and you destroy the truth about yourselves. Aaron clenched his fists. What truth? That you fear failure more than death, the reflection replied. That Myra fears being left alone. That your so-called courage is just desperation. The words cut deep. Aaron felt his heart pound, but he refused to show weakness. I am human, he said firmly. I have fear. But I still move forward. The reflection stepped closer. And if you fail? Then I fail as myself, Aaron answered. Not as your shadow. Myra raised her staff and struck the floor. The sound echoed, and cracks appeared in the mirror wall. The reflection staggered, his image wavering. Now! Myra shouted. Aaron rushed to the crystal, but the reflection blocked him, striking with unnatural speed. They fought fiercely, each move mirrored like a dance. Aaron's punches met his own, his kicks were countered instantly. Sweat dripped down his face as the room shook. Myra tried to help, but another reflection appeared, her own copy, moving with the same grace and power. The two mirrors clashed, staff against staff, sparks flying as the mirrored chamber glowed brighter. Break the crystal! Myra yelled between strikes. Ignore him! Aaron remembered Myra's words from before, you are more than your reflection. He stopped trying to match his copy's speed. Instead, he moved unpredictably, feinting left, rolling right, striking where the reflection didn't expect. For the first time, the mirrored Aaron hesitated. That was the opening. Aaron dived past him and slammed his fist against the glowing crystal. A blinding flash erupted. The mirrors screamed, shattering into shards. Both reflections let out silent cries as they dissolved into nothing. Myra shielded her eyes as light filled the chamber, then everything went still. When Aaron opened his eyes, the crystal was broken, lying in pieces on the floor. The mirror walls were gone, replaced by plain stone. He breathed heavily, every muscle aching. Myra staggered but caught herself, her staff trembling in her hands. It's over, Aaron said softly. Is it? Myra looked around. Where did the power go? Before Aaron could answer, the largest shard of mirror began to glow again. But instead of forming another reflection, it showed a clear image of a distant city, their home. People were smiling, streets were lit, and there was no sign of the darkness that had spread before. The mirror was feeding on fear, Myra realized. We starved it by standing strong. Aaron smiled faintly. Then let's go home. But as they turned to leave, a faint voice echoed from the broken crystal. This is not the end, it whispered. The mirror watches still. Aaron and Myra exchanged a glance. Neither spoke, but both knew the fight was not truly finished. They walked out of the chamber together, ready for whatever waited beyond the glass. The next morning, Myra woke up before sunrise. She stood in front of the mirror once again. But this time, the glass did not glow, nor did the figure inside move on its own. It was just her reflection, tired eyes, worried face, and lips pressed tight. Aaron entered the room quietly. He placed a small cup of tea on the table. You didn't sleep again, he asked. Myra shook her head. I can't stop thinking. The mirror showed me who I could become. But what if it was only a dream? What if I'm chasing something that isn't real? Aaron sat beside her. Dream or not, it showed you courage. It showed you strength you already have. Don't let fear steal that away. Her heart felt heavy. The last time I touched the mirror, it showed the city on fire, people running. Is it warning me about something? Aaron thought for a moment. Maybe it's not warning you. Maybe it's asking you to prevent it. Later that day, Myra went to the old library where she had first found the strange book. The librarian, a quiet man named Tomas, was waiting. I knew you'd come, Tomas said with a faint smile. Did you see the full vision? I saw, danger, Myra replied. And I saw myself standing in the middle of it. What does it mean? Tomas led her to a locked room filled with old maps and writings. This mirror isn't magic, he said. It is a tool. It shows what is hidden inside a person's heart. If you saw danger, it is because you fear losing this city. If you saw yourself standing strong, it is because you are capable of saving it. Myra frowned. But how? I'm no leader. I'm just me. Tomas placed a hand on her shoulder. Sometimes, that's enough. The mirror doesn't choose heroes. It reflects them. Suddenly, distant alarms rang outside. Smoke rose in the sky. Myra and Tomas rushed to the street. A factory on the edge of the city had caught fire. People panicked, unsure what to do. Aaron arrived, coughing from the smoke. We need to guide everyone to safety, he said. The main road is blocked. They'll get trapped if we don't act fast. Myra's hands trembled. The vision from the mirror was happening now. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath. Aaron, take a group to the east path. Tomas, guide the others through the old gate. I'll stay and make sure no one is left behind. Aaron grabbed her arm. It's too dangerous. She looked into his eyes. I'm not running away. Not this time. With calm words and quick thinking, Myra helped families escape the smoke. She carried a child in her arms, shouted directions, and kept her voice steady even when the flames grew close. Aaron and Tomas did their part too, and together they cleared the area before the fire spread further. Hours later, exhausted but safe, Myra stood in the empty street. Fire crews had arrived and controlled the blaze. No lives were lost. Aaron walked up, face smudged with ash. You did it, he said softly. Myra looked at him and smiled faintly. No, we did it. The mirror didn't save anyone. We did. That night, she returned home and stood before the mirror again. This time, her reflection looked straight back at her, no strange glow, no mysterious figure. Just herself, but with a calm strength she had never noticed before. You're not magic, Myra whispered to the glass. You only showed me who I really am. The reflection smiled because Myra smiled. And for the first time, she didn't feel afraid of what she saw. Aaron entered the room quietly, as he often did. Talking to yourself again, he teased lightly. Maybe, she replied, turning to him. But I think I finally like the person I'm talking to. He chuckled. Good. Because so do I. The mirror stayed still. There were no more warnings, no more visions. It had fulfilled its purpose. The passion Myra once feared had become courage, not just to face strange magic, but to face life itself. As dawn broke, Myra opened the window. The city outside was calm again. She didn't know what other challenges would come, but she knew she was ready. And this time, she wouldn't need any mirror to remind her of that.